Alright, so in this video we'll be building our PEZ dispenser that will feed into our departure zone. So to get prepared for this, I did a couple things. Just kind of dug out a big trench here, and then a big pit that will hold some circuitry. And then I covered it in glass just so I didn't accidentally fall in. But we can get started by coming over here, and the first thing we want to do is sort of dig out a little trench here. You don't necessarily have to do this, but I think it gives you a little extra room for some extra carts, and it will help kind of hide the wiring later on. So I've kind of just made a couple steps, and then just you want two open blocks here at the bottom, and I've made this kind of a 3 deep pit right here. So that will actually be the base of our PEZ dispenser down there. But on the top, we want to extend up a little bit so we can hold more carts here. So I'm going to make this kind of 3 blocks high above. And one of the reasons we do this is because the new PEZ dispensers that use hatches kind of are less space efficient, so they take up a little more vertical space, so this just kind of gets things out of the way a little more. And then we just, like always with the PEZ dispenser, come out here and stick a floating block on the end that will cause our cart to drop directly down. So there we go. And from here we can come up and run some powered rails. Again, this is not the most efficient way to do it, but it works for now. And at the base here, we'll just want to run some powered rails out. And looks like I have a torch down there somewhere. So now this will just boost our carts out of our little pit here. So from here, I can connect up the outgoing tracks from the PEZ dispenser all the way over to the track that leads into our departure zone right here. And we'll probably, this is a pretty long section of track to not have any kind of additional boosters, especially with a couple hills involved. So I'm going to go ahead and drop in some power tracks just to give our outgoing carts a little extra boost. And we'll just go ahead and give those kind of a constant supply of power by dropping in a torch underneath it like that. So that's kind of the main structure of our PEZ dispenser. The final thing we need to do is use one of the new hatches that came out in the 1.6 update. And we'll come down and place it at the lowest possible point, which will be that block right there. So when our hatch is up like that, that will keep our carts all in line here, and then when we press our button that I'll show you in just a second, it will flip down very quickly, releasing only one cart. So on the other end here, what we want is for it to feed in a new cart anytime a cart exits our departure platform. So as soon as this platform gets cleared, we just want it to go ahead and automatically send us a new cart. So to do that, we can place a detector rail right in our line of track outgoing from the departure zone. And I'll throw in another couple there. And then we can run a line of redstone from this detector rail all the way over here to our hatch at the other end. So let's head into the pit. And grab redstone. So just run a line of redstone. This will need a repeater at some point, so I'll just go ahead and drop one of those in. And now we've got our redstone coming from our button over there. So now to kind of set up the main mechanics of our circuitry for our PEZ dispenser. Let's go ahead and dig that area out. And I think I've got, yeah, there's a torch from my test run earlier. So we'll go ahead and, ordinarily we would need to place a torch under these tracks already. I accidentally left one in there. from before, so that'll work. And then we want to be able to run directly to our hatch up here, so I'll just make a little ramp down like that. So now for our circuitry. What we're going to build is called a monostable circuit, and basically what it does is will give a constant stream of power that will briefly flash off when it receives an input signal. If that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, you can look it up on the wiki or just repeat after me and it should work. So what we do is put a block here and then 3 blocks on top with leaving a gap at the bottom, and then 1 block on an end, so just kind of a little bridge like that. From there we can place 3 repeaters in a line just like that, and then come up here and place a torch on the first block of our upper portion here. Then we just need to kind of plug stuff up with redstone just like that, and then run it down and then up to our hatch just like that. So what this does is the repeaters have a 0.1 second delay built in, so when this receives power it will turn this torch off, which is basically no delay. So very briefly, this power will cut off since this power is coming from that torch. The incoming power will turn that torch off, which cuts the power, but then because we have repeaters here with a slight delay, we will get additional power that will bounce through the repeaters here and turn our circuit back on with only a very slight gap. So if we want to take a look at that, you can see here's the power. You can see it flashes off very quickly. So it opens and closes our hatch almost much faster than a normal button press would, which allows us to drop only 1 cart out. So that is pretty much the wiring and the setup for the PEZ dispenser. Oh, one last thing I did forget. We need to supply power to our incoming track in our PEZ dispenser. So we can just dig down and drop a torch in here, and that will just always need constant power just like that. So that is pretty much it as far as this goes. So we got our detector rail plugged into our monostable circuit, and that's going into our hatch right here. So let's load some carts in and kind of test it out. I'll just drop in a couple on this side, and these carts would be coming from our arrival zone. So there are those carts, and the next thing we want to do, just to kind of get things started here, is go ahead and load in manually a cart into our departure zone. Then when I hop on this, we'll get our boost from our bumper cart, and off we go. Then we'll press that detector rail, which flips our monostable circuit, whoa, lag, and sends out another cart just like that. And then again, we would have extra carts feeding in from our arrival zone on the other side. But that is pretty much it for a PEZ dispenser, and next up we will start working on the arrival zone.